people, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Been a while, but that's alright, we're back. Welcome to a video entitled Double Offerings. Today, we're going to talk about 5 bands that have only released 2 full-length albums, whether that be the band has only released 2 albums and they're still planning to release more, as well as bands that have actually disbanded and don't exist anymore that only came out with 2 full-length albums. Tried to stay away from EPs. I did want to do 10, but to be honest, my knowledge of music isn't that far to be able to scour the world to find 10 bands that have only done 2 albums. So we've narrowed it down to 5. They're all heavy metal except for one. You know, there's one in the middle that's a bit indie, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, before we get started, let me know down below, what's your favorite band, act, whatever, that's only released 2 albums. And if you've got a favorite, which one do you prefer? We'll have a conversation about who's right and who's wrong and which one's better, and it's all gonna be good fun. So yeah, like I said, we've got 5 albums to get through, so I reckon we just crack into it. Coming out with the first band that I thought of when I heard the word 2 albums, double offerings. We're going to start with a band from I don't know where exactly. They're a bit of a super group, you could say. The first one we're talking about is The Dark Element. So yeah, this is a band that I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong in saying that they've disbanded, but I don't actually know if they're still together or not. This band is a symphonic. It's sort of symphonic, like techno-industrial kind of vibe, sort of in the same vein of like Amaranthi kind of vibe, you know, where it's like female singer and like powerful and stuff, but it's got that edgy, slight techno vibe to it, you know, that industrial stuff. Yeah, this is The Dark Element with Annette Olson and Jani Libertanum, is that how you say it? The bro from Sonata Arcata, I think. I'm pretty sure that's it, or is it? It's not Satirical because that's black metal, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sonata that band. Yeah, Annette Olson, obviously from the middle period of Nightwish and her solo stuff, I guess. I don't actually know what she did before Nightwish. I should look that up. But yeah, these guys released 2 albums, and both albums are in the same style of each other. This album that I'm holding right now, this is the debut. It's just self-titled, isn't it? Yeah, this one's just called The Dark Element, and this album is pretty fun. It's quick, it's catchy, I love Annette's voice. She's my favorite Nightwish singer, so this, a song off the second album, that I'll talk about in a second, a song off the second album came on a random shuffle that I heard one day, and it hooked me instantly. I was just like, wow, that song very quickly became my most played song of 2023, I think. And so yeah, we went out and got both albums. This one's on CD, the other one's on LP. But yeah, this is the self-titled from, this one came out in 2017, and that one, the second one comes out in 2019, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's fun, it's quick, it's catchy, it's nothing serious. It's very, you could say the weak point in this album is the lyrics. I think the lyrics are a bit simple, but don't let that stop you from having a good time. Annette's voice is amazing on here. There's some powerful stuff, there's some ballady, you know, stuff, there's some emotional stuff on here as well. Dark Element, My Sweet Mystery, Last Good Day is good, Here's to You is okay, Someone You Used to Know is alright, Dead to Me is a hate-filled song, but again, so catchy. Cannot Raise the Dead is good, Heaven of Your Heart is a beautiful ballad, would highly recommend that. If you're a fan of Imaginarium from Nightwish and the Dark Passion Play album, if you're a fan of Annette and Nightwish, go listen to her other side project, The Dark Element. That's the debut. And then you have the second album, like I'm pretty sure, which came out 2 years later, yeah, 2019. This is the songs the Knights sing, and this is the song, that's the song that I heard on the shuffle that made me go, what is that? It was one of the most catchiest things I'd heard in a very, very long time. There are some weak moments on this album, but like, to me, I think this album is better than the debut, but only by so much, because the songs that I like on this one are actually so much more catchy and powerful and whatnot. But yeah, like the debut though, there's powerful moments and there's fun, and there's also emotional and sad moments as well. Not Your Monster is a great song. The songs the Knights sing as well, like I said, that's just the best song in the world. It's a really pack in your life, go live your dream type song. It's awesome. When It All Comes Down is alright. Silence Between the Words, I think, is really good. Pills on My Pillow is okay, it's all good. To Whatever End is alright. The Pallbearer Walks Alone, that's a standout of this album. I really love that one. Get Out of My Head sounds a bit like a Disney song, you could say. It sounds a bit Hilary Duffy, Kylie Minogue-ish. If I Had a Heart was fun. You will learn, and I have to go more powerful stuff on the side D. But yeah, fantastic albums, fantastic little band. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if they're still releasing music, but the first band we're mentioning, The Dark Element, symphonic industrial metal with Annette Olsen and Yanni Lanatainen, however you say his name. Next band we talk about in terms of proper heavy metal, power metal. What better name to bring up when you talk about only two amazing albums other than Lost Horizon? These guys were just, holy damn, the pure definition of like fantasy power metal. Honest to God, these guys were Swedish, and just Daniel Hyman, his vocal range was just like Rob Halford on steroids. Honest to God, if you've never heard of Lost Horizon, but you like fantasy-esque power metal type stuff, I genuinely recommend you go check these guys out. They were only active for like 6 years, from 99 to 2005, and then came back for a really small stint in 2009, but nothing came out of it. Yeah, like I said, they've got two albums. The first album from 2001 is called Awakening the World, and this album is genuinely fantastic. It's probably one of the best debuts I've ever heard. It's just fantastic. It's 40 minutes of just power metal and everything at its peak. Do you know what I mean? Just like The Quickening is how it opens, and it's just a quick little intro. It's only a minute long, but then it goes into Heart of Storm. It's just amazing. That song just really just gives you straight away what's about to happen for the next 40 minutes. Sorn in the Metal Wind is fantastic. Song of the Year. World Through My Fateless Eyes. That vocal in that final chorus is just ridiculous. Perfect Warrior, good stuff. Denial of Fate. But what makes this album honestly really amazing and made me get blown away was the final track, if you don't include the outro, Kingdom of My Will. 10 minutes of just perfection of power metal. Honestly, vocals, there's wohos, the solos are insane, the drums are just power metal drums. It's just phenomenal, honestly. Listen to the song Kingdom of My Will, just that, if you don't want to listen to the full album. And you'll want, trust me, if you don't want to listen to the album, you're insane, because you'll want to hear the rest of that. So that's Lost Horizons with Awakening the World. And then they had a second album, which is called A Flame to the Ground Beneath. This one came out in 2002, so it's only a year after the debut. And again, personally, I prefer the debut to A Flame Beneath the Ground, sorry, but this one is just still amazing. What stands this album out more than anything is obviously probably the song that we're all familiar with, mostly. Most fans who haven't heard of Lost Horizon but know the name have probably only heard the song Highlander, the one. Again, it's got it's a 12-minute song. It's got the wohos of all wohos, you know. It's just, I remember hearing this in like, when did I first hear this? Like 2014, I think, and I was just like, good God. That was like my peak early power metal listening, and it just really honed me in. Pure is a great song. Lost in the Depths of Me, just fantastic stuff. Honestly, Cry of a Restless Soul. There's some longer songs on this album. There's like I just said, Lost in the Depths is nearly 9 minutes, and Cry of a Restless Soul is 8.5. The Highlander itself is 12. Just honestly, pure perfection. The vocals, the solos, the drums. It's just outrageous. And if you hear these vocals and you think there's no way he can do that live, there is a live concert of these guys just going full ham, and just watch it for Daniel Hyman's vocals. It's ridiculous. It's such a shame that they broke up. I don't know why they broke up, probably due to creative differences or whatever, but still just fantastic stuff. If you love power metal and you haven't heard Lost Horizons, go check them out now. Band number 3 is not entirely heavy metal at all per se. They're more of an indie band from the world of Manchester, England, and the band I'm talking about in question is the Stone Roses. Yeah, so this is the band that pretty much birthed the whole indie Britpop 1990s saga era of music, especially their self-titled debut album as well. This album, I won't lie, I've only been a fan of this band and this album for about a year. I remember probably not long after the Oasis hype of them coming back, like when Definitely New Maybe turned 30. last year, and then it was announced that they were all coming back. You know, I've been an Oasis fan for years to a point, but I never knew all their catalog, you know what. So I started to, you know, do what I do. I ranked all of their albums, and then I got into, you know, the history of them, and I learned where they came from, and I learned what they liked, why they became who they became, and whatnot. And this band kept popping up. The Stone Roses, like in the Definitely Maybe doco, the Roses are into, one of them is interviewed talking about how he made the comment saying Definitely Maybe is the second greatest debut album of all time, and the interviewer goes, oh, who's got the best one then? And he says, mine. Ha ha ha. So I was like, at first I was like, yeah, whatever, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, well, what is his debut album? The Stone Roses. And I read what they did and who they were, where they came from. Like I said, Manchester, birthed the Britpop indie vibe, and good God, rightly so. This album, The Stone Roses, the debut, is just genuinely, if you're a fan of indie stuff, this is iconic, and it's fantastic. I'm not the biggest indie fan at all, but by God, do I respect this album, and it's actually so much fun to listen to. I Want to Be Adored is a fantastic song. I think, oh no, it's not the longest song on the album. Oh, definitely not. I Am the Resurrection is at 9 minutes, but still, I Want to Be Adored is just, it sums up, I think, in perfect sound. It sums up the end of the 80s and the start of the 90s in 5 minutes, sound-wise. It's just, it starts in and it fades in, and then the drums come in and it's got like this eerie synthy guitar almost, and then the vocals are Manchester vocals, you know, and the melodies are fun, the lyrics are funny. It's just a fantastic song, Want to Be Adored. Go listen to it if you haven't. But everything else on it is just as great. She bangs the drums, it's fun and bouncy and catchy. Waterfall literally sounds like water running down a stream in terms of vocaling and whatnot. It's just catchy as. Bye Bye Bad Man, I do like that one. Elizabeth My Dear is a fun little snippet song, but it's all good. Made for Stone, Shoot You Down. It's quite a long album in terms of like indie music. It's like 50 minutes long, but like honestly, it's pretty damn good. Like there's, other than the 8-minute track on the end, like it's so substandard in terms of time. It's just amazing. If you haven't heard that album, go listen to it. That's the Stone Roses debut, only to be followed up by their second album, which came, the debut came out in 1989 on May 2nd, and then the second album, which was called, hang on, where is it? Second Coming, the second album is called Second Coming. It didn't come out till 1994, right? So imagine what's going on in the time. They released this incredible debut album, right? And everybody loves it. And then they unfortunately suffer from trying to follow it up. Obviously, Definitely Maybe came out in 1994 as well. But in that period of time, Oasis were playing in small clubs and, you know, whatnot prior to the album coming out. So this whole area of, you know, this Britpop Manchester thing was already live and well. So they were kind of struggling to follow up the success that the debut had. So when they came out with Second Coming, everybody was like, oh, cool, finally, another album by the Stone Roses. While it's good, it's definitely not as good as the debut, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. The breakthrough song of this album is 10 Story Love Song, which is genuinely actually a fantastic song. That one could have easily gone into the debut, I reckon. It's a 4.5-minute love song. They've done a weird thing where the opening song on this album is 12 minutes long, Breaking Into Heaven. I don't think it needs to be 12 minutes long, but whatever. Again, it's another longer album. It's, how long is it? This one's 70 minutes long. So in terms of metal listeners, you know, we're kind of used to 60, 70-minute albums, but like for indie pop and stuff, that's kind of pushing it, you know? It's because all the songs are slightly on the longer side, you could say, to a point, you know. There's no 8 minutes, but you've got, like I said, the first one is 12. The second one is 5 minutes. You've got then Daybreaker, which is 6.5 minutes. There's 5:40, 6:50, 6:26, you know, 4:56. They're, for standard pop songs or whatever, they're on the longer side. But it's still a great album. Straight to the Man is all right. Begging You is pretty fun. That was I'm pretty sure that was a single, yeah. But yeah, it's a great album. And if you like the indie stuff and you want to explore, you know, the origins of it, you could say, I'd go here. The Stone Roses and their two album discography of the debut and Second Coming. Next band we're talking about that only has 2 albums is a band that goes again into the power metal area of life, and that is Eternal Champion. Yeah, I can't remember. No, I do actually. I'm lying. I first heard the second album, which we'll talk about in a minute. I first heard the single that came off the second album in 2020, and I was like, "Good God, what is this?" And I immediately, what was annoying about this band was how good it was, but it wasn't on Spotify. So I was like, they're really encouraging me to buy it, but unfortunately I didn't. Yeah, so it's on Spotify now, so it's all good. But yeah, Eternal Champion. They are, where are these guys from? They're from America. That's what makes them interesting. They're an American metal band from Texas. And what gives this band sort of not an edge, but like, something to stand out for is the guy's vocal style. What's his name? His name is, it won't tell me because I haven't got the information. And that's all right. It just sounds a bit different. It's not exactly like normal high pitched. It's somewhere like, it's sort of in between like a typical power metal singer who goes up high and sort of like in the lower register, you could say, of Sabaton. It's kind of stuck in the middle, if you know what I mean. But yeah, they released 2 albums. The first one called The Armor of Ire, which came out in when did this come out? This one came out in 2016, and this one is great, for standard fantasy-esque power metal. Look at the album cover, for God's sake. Great album work on these guys, I tell you. It's short, straight and to the point of just fun, brute, just pounding power metal, really. I Am the Hammer is a great song. The Last Kingdom of Picton is pretty all good. The Cold Sword, though, I think the Cold Sword's one of my favorites. And a Sing a Last Song of Oldies is great too. But yeah, what stands it out is the vocals. Sometimes it can put some people off, but that's all right. If you can get through the vocals and you like this album, then the second album for you is just as good. It's called Ravening Iron, and this one, in my opinion, is so much better than the debut, probably because it's the first one I heard, so I listened to it a lot more, I resonated with it a lot more, and I was just like, this stuff is great. The song Ravening Iron was just like, vocally, I immediately understood why people didn't like it, because it's like, what? It's in a weird range, but once you get used to it, it's so good. But yeah, Ravening Iron was a fantastic song. Skull Seeker was great. Ravening Iron fades with it doesn't fade, but it ends with a whammy dive, and then immediately goes into the mid-tempo that is Skull Seeker, dun 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 kind of vibe. And I was like, that's a mean transition. I love that. Coward's Keep, Worms of the Earth, and the final song, Banners of Ri. It's just great stuff. It reminds me of Manowar and like kind of Kenneth Ungle, but not at the same time because of the vocal style. And it just reminds me of, you could say, early traditional, this fantasy-esque power metal stuff where it's more like it's like do you know what I mean though? It's like that early vibe of power metal. It's not so crisp and clear like all the Rhapsody stuff, but it's like power metal from the 50s, which I know sounds weird, but like if you look at the artwork, it looks like scriptures and stuff from a 1940s version of Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? You've seen the AI images, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, fantastic band, fantastic albums. I don't know if they're still around and haven't made anything else. Like I say, this one came out in 2020 and it's been 5 years now and haven't heard anything else. So you never know, they might come out with another one. But yeah, old school power metal, really, really fun stuff. Eternal Champion. And then the last band we talk about is a band from, I'm actually not sure where they're from. They're from are they from Italy? No, maybe, I don't know. Hang on, I've just read that the album was recorded in Italy. Doesn't mean that's where they're from. Let's just assume they're Italian. The band in question, I'm talking about a band called Atlas Pain. Now, I remember, I think if I'm not mixing up my stories, the second album, sorry, my bad. The second album from these guys, a song from it appeared on a black metal playlist that I was listening to because I was starting to really get into the the black metal stuff at this random period of time. So why this song came on, I wasn't sure, because Atlas Pain are not a black metal band. They are like, I've seen them be called melodic death, but I don't think that's true as well. I just think they're straight folk metal. If you look at the debut album, which I'm pretty sure is this one right here, this is What the Oak Left Behind. Sorry, this is just What the Oak Left, and that doesn't scream black metal at all. It doesn't look black metal. So yeah, why people are calling it why it's in a black metal playlist, I'm not sure. And it definitely isn't melodic death. So I'm just saying it's more in the same vein of like Insiferum and whatnot, with harsh vocals and catchy folky melodies and whatnot. it's a great album. Despite how much I've loved this album and been listening to it, I have, this is only like a really, really brand new purchase. So yeah, probably I was listening to it the other week and it probably is what inspired me to do this video. But yeah, Atlas Pain's What the Oak Left Behind is a really fun folk metal album. It's not very long. I don't know what to say. It's not very long, but God, is it good. It starts with The Time and the Muse, which is, you know, it's all right, but it's a little intro track, so it doesn't really make a difference. But what made it great is To the Moon. Fantastic song there. To the Moon was just really hones in the black metal style, you could say, and the folk at the same time. It's awesome. Bloodstained Stun was cool. Till the Dawn Comes is okay. It's got a piano intro that once you get over that, the song picks up. The Storm was great, but Iron Forged is a fantastic song. It starts with this phaser like tapping intro, and it's just fantastic stuff. The Counter Dance is when they go full folky. That's awesome. Unwind's Gate is all right. From the Lighthouse is this mellow death, like slow tempo, chuggy, through the mud type of song. It's just great with folk elements on it. It's just fantastic, honestly. And then White Overcast Line is great, broken into 6 parts. But yeah, great stuff if you like folk metal and want to get into something a bit more fun. It's a fun album, absolutely. But yeah, that's the debut. That's Atlas Pain's with What the Oak Left. And then they came out with the second album, Tales of a Pathfinder, from 2019. The debut was from 2017, and I've just realized there's no track listing in front of me. I haven't got this album on CD, and while this one is cool, I definitely prefer the debut, but this one's cool as well. It's a lot more, you know, I don't think it's still fun, but I don't think it's as fun. But like I say, it's hard for me to beat that because that's the first one I was listening to, you know what I mean? But yeah, The Moving Empire was cool. Kia Kaha is an interesting song. It's just funny that they call it that because that's Māori language from New Zealand, which is very, very weird. But yeah, you know, it's all good. Homeland was great. The First Sight of a Blind Man's only 2 minutes long, but it's the last song, so yeah, that one's a bit fun. The Great Run, it's a simple album. There's not a lot of long songs on here. There's longer songs on the debut, but yeah, Tales of a Pathfinder was still great as well. But yeah, if you're interested in listening to some folk metal, I would highly recommend this band, Atlas Pain. Whether or not they're still releasing music, I'm pretty sure they're not. I'm pretty sure I read that they disbanded a while ago. So yeah, it's a shame because this album was killer. But yeah, there we are, team. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I sit here and take you through 5 bands that have only released 2 full-length albums. Like I said at the start, let me know down below if you've got any bands that have only released 2 albums, and let me know which one you prefer out of the 2. If they interest me, I'll happily go ahead and listen to them. Keep an eye out for the next video. I'm going to film another one literally immediately after this, just because I've got some time on my hands, so we'll take advantage of that. But yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. Hit the like button if you like videos about metal and Maiden and things like that, because that's what we love to do here. Try and get the sub count up through the roof. It's always a good time. But yeah, keep an eye for the next video. Christ knows when it will be uploaded, but hey, until that happens, everybody, stay inside, stay safe, jam some folk, and I will see you all in the next video. See you later.